of WCS, Women, Children and Society. My name is Oikeke Igado Kure. Today, we'll be looking at the phenomenon of the house help or house girl, house boy culture, which has developed to something very big in Nigeria. It's actually a big issue now. And there's hardly any home in Nigeria today that does not have a house help. They're usually brought in by an agent who acts as a middleman between both families, the family of the house helps and that of the ones who want their services. In some cases, a monthly pay is sent to the girl or the boy's family, as the case may be. In other cases, the family who takes in the house help will be responsible for her upkeep and education. Sometimes these young people who don't have a good shot at life can have a better chance when they become house helps for families who pay their education. But unfortunately, these young people, this type of stories are fewer than the negatives. There are many house helps who have horrific and terrible stories of physical violence and sexual abuse. There's also mental abuse. In Nigeria today, house helps are treated like slaves, given rags to wear, eat leftovers, and sleep on the floor. Some never get to school, and some are stuck at home taking care of the kids of busy parents. Domestic servants or house helps are like a glorified slaves. There are no agreements or legislation that ensures the benefit from this kind of exchange. There are many house helps suffering in Nigerian homes today with no one telling their stories. And this is where we are today. How do we get to this point? As parents, what level of poverty is there that could trade the life of your child? A lot of times, these children are being trafficked to other countries and become slaves, and the rest is history. Some never get to return home again. Some are permanently maimed, and their lives will never be the same again. It is unfortunate, however, that most times it is women whom are expected to protect children because they are mothers, that the ones perpetrating this high level of violence against other children. They leave these children in the cold and cover their own. What will it take for you to love the vulnerable and poor child whom God brought your way? Why should parents refuse or agree to use their children in such a way? Why won't you take care of your own children irrespective of the circumstances? Because a lot of people will tell you they don't have monies to take care of their children. You can take care of your children if you want to. It's a failure as a parent to send your children away to other homes to become house helps when they're supposed to be in school or learning some sort of trade. It's not about poverty, it's failure on our part as parents. Okay? So this is what we'll be looking at today.
You know what it's like to be overlooked and underestimated because of who you are or what you believe in or where you come from.
With the girls of Nigeria and across Africa and all over the world, I want to say, don't let anyone tell you that you are weaker than or less than anything. You are not less than a boy. You are not less than a child.
Everywhere we look today, you can see the advancement of man, how the human mind has basically invented, created, and built a whole new world. Yet strangely, every time that I have been on the field, I've wondered how that same human mind continues to allow the exploitation of children across the world, where girls are being denied to go to school, where children are living without clean water, medical care, protection, even food.
When I learned some years ago that writers were expected to have had really unhappy childhoods to be successful, I began to think about how I could invent horrible things my parents had done to me. But the truth is that I had a very happy childhood, full of laughter and love, in a very close-knit family.
I was building somebody else, and I'm very proud that I built somebody else, a man. Right? So,
You might never fail on the scale I did, but some failure in life is inevitable. It is impossible to live without failing at something, unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case you fail by default.
So importantly right now, the experience must make it clear that the safety of women, minorities, and anyone who may be vulnerable is a right and not a privilege. A right that will be respected by a community that believes and supports survivors, and that recognizes that when one person's safety is violated, everyone feels their own safety is violated.
Why won't women and children enjoy a better society when there is so much to go around? When you educate a woman, you educate a child for a better society. All over the world, women and children suffer various societal ills such as rape, battery, lack of good education, access to proper health care. In Nigeria, women and children have suffered as victims of insurgency, hunger, and suffering. WCS seeks to discuss and address these issues and more. 12 to 1 p.m. on Mondays and 1 to 2 p.m. on Fridays. It's all about women, children, and society.
WCS, now airing on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM.
Hello again, and like I said earlier, welcome to today's edition of WCS, Women, Children and Society. Today we're looking, like I said earlier, the house help or the house girl, house boy culture, which is developed to something very big in Nigeria. There's hardly, like I said, any household in Nigeria today that does not have a house help. They were usually brought in by an agent who acts as the middleman between both families. The family of the house help and the family that wants her services. In some cases, monthly pay is sent to the girl or boy's family, as the case may be. In other cases, the family who takes in the house help will be responsible for her upkeep and education. Sometimes, these young people who don't have a good shot at life can have a better chance when they become house helps for families who pay for their education. But unfortunately, this type of stories are fewer than the negatives. There are many house helps who have horror stories of physical violence and sexual abuse. There's also mental abuse. In Nigeria, house helps are treated like slaves. Like I said, given rags to wear, eat leftovers and sleep on the floor. All right? Some never get to go to school and are stuck at home taking care of the kids of busy parents. Domestic servant or house helps are like glorified slaves. There are no agreements or legislation that ensures the benefit from their exchange. There are many house helps suffering in Nigerian homes today with no one telling their stories. This is where we are today. How did we get to this point? That is the question. As parents, what level of poverty is there that could trade the life of their children? A lot of times, these children are being trafficked to other countries and become slaves, and the rest is history. Some never get to return again. Some are permanently maimed, and their lives will never be the same again. It is unfortunate, however, that most times it is women whom are expected to protect children because they are mothers. They are the ones perpetrating this high level of violence against children. They leave their own children in the cold, other people's children in the cold, and cover theirs. And like I ask, what will it take for you to love the vulnerable and poor children whom God brought your way? Why can parents refuse? Why won't parents refuse, all right, to do this to their own children? Why won't parents take care of their own children, irrespective of the circumstances? Okay? Usually what happens, because the families are poor and because the families don't have monies to take care of their own children, and what we see most of the time is when these people come from the city centers and then they deceive, they get to the rural areas and even in the urban areas, and they lie to parents. All right? By the end of the day, what happens? All the promises that there is, all the promises that these people make to parents, vulnerable parents, parents who are not poor, who are not well-to-do. These people come from the urban centers and promise all kinds of things. And then by the end of the day, these children are not promised what they are. They're not given what they are promised. By the end of the day, the children are not sent to school. It's not a lie. They are trafficked, right? They are sent to do all kinds of jobs that they're not supposed to do. Most times these are children, all right, under 18 years. Officially, they're not supposed to work. They're supposed to be in schools, learning. But this is what we get by the end of the day. So why wouldn't parents, are parents hearing this advocacy? Are parents hearing all these cries, all these things that we're saying? Are parents actually hearing us? How can it be that these children will be left in homes of other people without the promise, without taking them to schools like they were promised? I mean, how could you do that to other children? You went to a family and you said, okay, because you're not doing very well, can I take care of your children for you? And then what do? You send your own children and you leave these other ones at home to become domestic servants. Some of them have even been raised to the status of slavery. These are children who don't have powers over what happens to them. They can't even run back home. How will they get back home? They can't even talk to their parents. And then by the end of the time, most times it's too late. A lot of children have lost their future. Some have even lost their lives. Okay? And then now it has become big business in Nigeria anyway, where we see people opening offices in the names of agents, and they're advertising who is looking for a house help, who is looking for a house girl. Okay? And then by the end of the day, they send these vulnerable children from the village and from all the places to homes where they are being tortured a lot of times, where they are being enslaved a lot of times. And I begin to wonder, how can we degenerate to this level? How can a family do that? A woman, a man, husband and wife who are supposed to be fathers to these children end up turning them to servants and slaves and sending their own children to school. Is this who we are? I think the answer should be no. But this is what is happening in most homes today. In most homes, this is what is happening. Because parents have gotten too busy looking for monies here and there. And their children need to be cared for. And they think the only people that can take care of the children while they're busy pursuing money is other people's children who are supposed to be home, going to school or doing one thing or the other. Except for the few ones who even have the heart, a good heart of sending these children to school. But about 98% of these children are not sent to school. For those ones who take the pain of paying school fees and sending the student to school, we say, may God bless you. Because when a child gets education, that child will be liberated by the end of the day. But when you promise to, okay, bring this child to my home and I'll send the child to school, the child will get the right education. Meanwhile, you're lying. The child is not getting any education. You're not sending the child to no school. And you're a parent. You also have children, but you think you have your own children covered. Nothing can happen anyway. After you have monies to take care of them, you have monies. They don't need to go and live with anyone. My children are covered. But you don't even know what can happen tomorrow. I think we should have the mind of God in our hearts, especially when it comes to children. Children are very vulnerable. They don't have powers over what happens to them. How can we be wicked to children? How can we look into the eyes of children and still do harm to them? Some are tortured and beaten in the name of correction. Would you beat your own children that same way? Some have had irons being used on their bodies. You see a man and a woman full grown, a mother, a father, switching on an iron and putting it on the body of another child because that child is a house help and it's not your child. How would you feel if someone else does that to your own child? I heard about a woman who runs a petty shop, and then she claimed that her 50 naira milk, sachet milk, was missing, and she believes it must be the house help. And then what did she do? She went ahead and took a coal of fire and then put it in the palm of the child and closed them together. And you can imagine how that can turn out. Someone else's child. Would you do the same thing to your own child? That's the question we should be asking. You have someone's child in your house because she or he is a help. The food you give to your children is different from the food that you give to those children. Why can this happen? What will it take you to give these children the same food that you give to your own children? You allow the children to eat leftovers, or you place a ban on some particular food. These ones are for my children. These ones you cannot eat, even when these children are of the same age grade with their own children. How can you have a heart like that? How can you provide bed and blanket for your own children, and you leave these other children sleeping on the bare floor in the cold because they are not your children? How could you do that? All right? How could you do that? It's unfortunate that this is happening in our country. We are a people who are supposed to love one another. We're supposed to love ourselves. The only thing that is missing there is love, because if you love someone, you will not hurt that person. If you can wear that garment of love for every child that you see, then the world will be a better place anyway. If you feel for another child the same way you feel for your own children, you will feed those children the way you're feeding your own children. You will cover them with blanket from cold the way you cover your own children. You will think of the future of those children the way you think of the future of your own children by sending them to school. But no, that's not what we're doing. And you, Mr. Agent, that has opened that office, shipping children from one place to the other, receiving commissions. You should remember that you also have children. And you never say never until it's over. What are we turning ourselves to? We should be kind to one another. We should be kind to one another. We should begin to see our children like us. An injury to a child is an injury to all children. And you parents, I keep wondering, what level of poverty is it that you don't hear the things that we talk about? The things that happens to your children when you send them out of your homes in pursuit of better or greener lives? When people come to you, relatives, neighbors come to you and they say, look, don't worry, I'll take care of your child. I'll take your child to the city. Are you not hearing the stories that come out from these cities? Are you blinded by poverty? Are you deafened by poverty? What level of poverty is that? Why wouldn't you go and look for the job and take care of the children? Children are a gift from God. And it's our responsibilities to take care of these children. But what are you doing with yours? You think your children is presenting an opportunity for you to have a better life? Yes, that can happen if you take your time and your energy to train your children up. By the time they become better citizens and better people tomorrow, they will take care of you when you're old. But if as children, you think the best thing that you can do is to send them off to some places, and then by the end of the month, somebody sends some peanuts to you, and then you think, yes, because you have children, your life is better. No, your life is worse for it. Unfortunately, some of the children may never come back because some of them have gotten killed already. And many more too. We fought the same way if you don't stop. For goodness sake, it's better for you to keep your children with you at home if you don't have monies to take care of them, if you don't have monies to take them to school. Is it not better for your child to be alive? And like I always say on this program, there must be a level of school that you can send your child to. There's a free education in some levels. Primary and secondary school to some certain level, it's free education. Is it the food? Take your hoe and go to the farm. Till the land, let your children follow you and provide food for them. Okay? This shouldn't be happening. My heart breaks a lot each time I think of these things. I think of the plight of our children that are suffering in many homes in this country, all in the name of house boy, house girl. And who are those perpetrating this evil, this violence against them? We again. Us Nigerians, parents, uncles, aunties, neighbors. We're supposed to be protecting these children. But I always hold the families and the parents are responsible. I won't give my child to you. If you think you have what it takes to help me raise my children, then do that while they're under my roof, under my eyes, under my watch. If you can't do that, then I can't release my child to you. Many homes, many families, many women especially are guilty these days. you're there in the office trying to make monies for your children's life to be good, and you're destroying other people's children, the life of other people's children, because the parents don't have money. For goodness sake, if you know you cannot send a child to school, don't take that child from the parents. If you know you cannot love on that child, don't pick that child from the parents just to subject that child to the status of slavery. Perpetrating physical harm on the children. So you can call me. Let's talk about this. How do we end this? This has to stop. This has to stop. Some of the children are subjected to all kinds of things, from sexual harassment, rape here and there. You see men coming back home when their wives are not around, sleeping with 10, 11, 12-year-old children because they are not yours. Do you have sisters? Do you have daughters? Just because they are not your children. You come back home and then you force yourself on children, raping them, threatening them not to talk. Helpless children, they can't talk. They're there at your mercy. Zero 81 89 991011. How do we end this? I know a lot of us are guilty of it, right? A lot of us are. About 95% of homes in this country have house helps here and there. But how much percentage of these people are treating these house helps the same way they would treat their own children? Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I can barely hear you. Hello?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Please, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Nasarawa.
Okay, what's your name, please?
My name is Tony.
Okay, go ahead, Stanley.
Yeah, I really love this program.
Thank you very much.
It is what to say because it happens everywhere.
Yes.
We have feelings of complaint and excuses right to the church all over. People are complaining because I'm not able to I'm not able to take care of my child or my son. Somebody come and said in fact at the end of the day they become a slave in the house. It's very bad. You discover that when their children are sleeping, so by 4 a.m. that lady or that boy is already out of the bed. Look, it started with the hospital. When everybody got out of the house. It is when everybody finished with school. Which is very bad. But there's something I always said. I think if you watch it very well, those ladies, particularly ladies, they are the so-called they are the slave in the house, later become a wife material. People never understand. Those ladies that they give them all those stress, later become a wife material. Why their children are become homeless, they cannot even put anything in the house. I'm talking to you, I'm talking from experience. I've seen a lot of them like that. But I believe that God someday, one day, God will come to help those children.
Thank you.
Another thing I want to say again is that the issues that we are seeing, that those as a father who believe that the only option is you because the girl is in your house, you mess up with her. Remember one thing, that a time will come, your child, somebody somewhere, even irrespective of your money you have, somebody somewhere will do it. If not your first generation, your second, third generation will experience what it is somebody.
Yes.
Not happy with it.
Yes, you're right. Because what you sow, you must surely reap.
It is a nature, and you cannot fail from it. God never changes.
Yes.
If you think you are frustrating this person today, in your first, second generation, generation, somebody will do this to that, not knowing what that the father has planted, and the son or the daughter is reaping in years to come. So I want to believe that this program is what to canvas all over, because it's through what you have to go out and pull out the majority to support this country. God help us.
Thank you very much. And we also have rules to play. If we see people who are doing that, we can report them. We have NAPTIP. We have agencies who are taking care of this kind of issues now. If we sit and then we don't do anything, we don't take action, we are also as guilty. So if you see a family that's molesting children in the name of house help, you have that opportunity to help that child by going to report that family. You can do that secretly, okay? And then I'm sure something will be done about it. But you can keep the calls coming. 081-8999-1011. What should we be doing to save the lives of our children? Okay? Hello. Hello? Okay? You can keep the calls coming. 081-8999-1011. Today we're looking at the phenomenon of house help in Nigeria, where a lot of children have been destroyed in the name of house help by families. All right? Hello? Okay, I don't know what's happening, but you can keep the calls coming. 081-8999-1011. How do we end this? How do we ensure that we take care of our own children? Hello? Okay, I don't know what's happening. Could it be the network? But you can keep the call coming. We need to... Hello? Okay, all right? So that's what we're looking at. Parents, you need to take care of your children yourself. Poverty is no longer an excuse. Poverty is no longer an excuse. And some parents are very professionals in this. They have 7, 8, 9 children, and what they do is trading them, sending them to these houses, sending them to these houses. You see a family, you see a mother saying, I have 8 children. This one is in this person's house. That one is in that person's house. That one is in that person's house. And they're very comfortable. Their children are in other places and they're sleeping comfortably. They're happy. They think they have helped the children by distributing them to families, and most times these children are tortured. They don't treat it like children. Hello. Well, I don't know what's happening. All right. I don't know what's happening to the telephones, but you can keep the calls coming. All right. Keep trying. Probably it's the network issue. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Lauren.
Okay, could you move a little from your phone or your radio?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm actually trying to turn it off.
Because I can barely hear you. There's an echo that's coming back. Can you reduce the volume of your radio?
Okay. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you, please.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Before you call, please turn down the volume of your radio, or you move away from the radio so that we can hear each other properly. All right? If you don't do that, we will not be able to hear ourselves. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, ma.
Good afternoon. Could you turn down the volume of your radio, please?
I've done that.
Okay. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Williams Uchechuku.
Okay.
Yes, this your program is very, very, very wonderful. I've been looking for an opportunity to at least say something to parents.
Please go ahead.
Yes.
But first of all, I can hear you on your radio. Could you turn down the volume of your radio?
In fact, I switched off everything, even the car. I off everything now.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, please.
So, I don't know how to reach parents. Push the daughters to come and people in their house without knowing what their children are going through in the hands of rich men, women, and the rest of them. All these big ladies in the city. Like, I don't even talk about, treating them like their children, but add a little value to them. Those kids, those children are working for you from various places. Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you very well.
Okay. Where I work, or even close to where I work, if you see what girls, most especially girls, are going through in the hands of, like, so one big skates wear them, they'll just look like not even modern slave, but like those Asian slaves that time, check material, don't do your hair, don't do makeup, just like I don't know how to describe that. If you see what our girls, what our children are going through, we don't even talk about going to school again, or even, and if you see what they're paying them, you work from Monday to Monday, like from the first of the month to the end, they will tell you that your salary is 7,000 naira. How are you going to save money to go and start doing something on your own? So you know this, and there's no way to talk to people, like, to reach out to their mothers every day, because when they come to the town, the people that are working will collect their phone. So they will be the only people that will reach to the mother or the father. So the only that the father hears is what the person herself tells the parents.
And it's usually positive stories.
They can never tell you any story. That they will just lie to you. If you, at the time, they will ask you, can you please send me your bank account so that I will sometimes help? They will send like 20,000 to your account. Anytime your child says she wants to go, they will tell your child that she must have to pay that 20,000 before she will leave the house. She's I don't know how to describe that. That is what people have been going through inside Abuja, especially Abuja here, and nobody to talk. If you say that, they find they're doing their best, but can they provide work to those girls if they leave the play?
Okay, so we also have a role to play. Can we also let the people know that they cannot continue to? We should also take the responsibility of reporting some families sometimes, even if it's secretly.
If there are some things you don't try, because sometimes you try. Sometimes I try to, but again, there are things you try if you have. How do I say it now? Because many of them, some of them are general, some of them are people that you cannot.
They're powerful people.
Powerful people. Let me say powerful people. Powerful people. So it's not easy.
Thank you, my brother.
I don't know how to continue. Thanks so much for this program. Thanks so much.
Thank you. We'll get there. Parents need to keep their children to themselves, no matter how poor they are.
I wish God would give me.
Thank you very much for that call. Okay, these children need help, really. But what I keep saying is that how could it be us doing this to ourselves? How, at what point, have we grown very cold that we no longer feel for children under our care? At what point? If you are in the village and you don't have monies to send your children to school, let your children be with you. Let them go and learn something else. Don't trade with their lives. The life in the city for these children is not better off. It's that of harm, danger. And that's the main business now. Even at the local levels, you go home and then you're hearing they brought this child, they brought this this Calabar child, they brought this Idoma child, they brought the thief child for me, they brought this Yoruba child for me. They brought. What is that? What is going wrong with our parents? 081-8999-1011. What should we do as a people to end this kind of threat? Hello? Hello?
Hello. Good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mama Israel calling.
Okay. Go ahead, please.
All right. In fact, this issue is an issue that mothers need to step up their games with. You see, I blame it on mothers because no matter how bad it is, you as a mother, you can always do something. If you have children, at least governments have made provisions for free education in early primary schools and all that.
Yes.
You can take your children there while you're doing your petty trading. When they come back from school, they come to the shop, stay with you. If you don't have shop, there are things that you can do as a mother that will help your children, that will not subject them to slavery. See, when we were growing up there, my mom brought 6 of us up all by herself. It was so bad that at times you see her talking to herself, as in constantly her head was filled. But there was never a day my mom allowed us to go and live with any relative. We were 5 girls and a boy. When we come back from school, when we were going to school in the morning, she'll pack her clothes in her bag. When we close from school, we'll go and meet her in the shop. All 6 of us will stay there with her. She'll close them because we were 5 girls, so she didn't want any pregnancy or somebody molesting someone also. And then, that is how mothers should be. But these days, you see a mother carrying, imagine there was a time they brought a girl for me, and then I asked the woman, where is the parents of this girl? She said then that they don't have means of survival. They want someone who will train the girl in school. My husband and I said, okay. And that's how we were doing that. We were still giving this woman money to send to her parents for 5 months. So at a point, we had to let the girl go due to character thing like that. Could you believe that this girl's parents came? For that 5 months, she never sent even a kobo to the girl's parents. She told them that we're not paying her. And then we're like, no, we're giving you money. She said, okay, that who was there when we're giving her money and all that. Until the girl had to say it with her mouth that on some occasion she had witnessed where we gave the woman money.
So you're talking about agents, right?
Yes.
Okay, yes.
So some of these agents, they go as much as even selling these girls off and, ritual killings and all that. And I don't understand. And the 4 times I've had children, the kind of pain I went through, I don't know if other mothers went through that kind of pain. That they would just subject their children's life to anything, men molesting them, and all sorts.
I mean, it's shocking to me too. It's shocking to me as a mother. Excuse me.
Honestly, in fact, a day without any of my child, if my children are outside the compound playing, 10 minutes like this, my body is already shaking.
Yes.
I'm looking out to see who are they talking to. Then you now see a mother who just give out her children. There was a time I had to travel to Maiduguri. This Hausa man, he was traveling along with like 6 children. And I got talking to the children because I teach. I got talking to them, and when you work with children, naturally you get bond with them.
Yes.
I asked the children, where are your parents? The man now responded, their parents are there. They are going to learn. They are going to learn in one place. And I'm like, these little children, they were like between the range of 6 to 8.
Okay.
So tell me, those children without parents, without mothers, without fathers, they grow up, they become something else in the society, and then you hear killings here and there.
And that's even the ones that have opportunities of even growing up. A lot of them will lose their lives because they're subjected to all kinds of torture and all kinds of things.
Definitely. And then these particular children, they grow up without love, without somebody giving them any form of direction. They become a problem to the society. You hear somebody going off to bomb someone and without thinking twice, because really he doesn't feel loved. He doesn't feel anything for anybody.
Definitely.
So please, I don't know. You guys should continue to talk to mothers, because this thing, it boils on mothers. Fathers, they just impregnate women and that's all. But a woman is the one who knows what she went through to have her child. And no matter how your delivery comes easy, no matter what, you must have gone through 1 or 2 pains.
Yes.
So mothers should be thinking of those things. And the sleepless night you had, bring them up so they can also give you a good life. At least they can give you good rest. Please.
Thank you very much.
I hope mothers are listening. Enough of this poverty in the country.
Poverty is no longer an excuse. Yes.
For a lot of people.
Yes. It's no longer about poverty. It's about, you being wicked to your own children. That's the way I look at it now.
Of course, of course. And apart from that, even as little as pure water, even if you don't have money to buy that one bag, you can always go to a shop. Please give me this one bag, let me sell. I'll bring the money back. And then when you sell, you take the money back. Before you know, you're able to gather one or two things. Before you know, your children, you're surviving. And these days, most times, when people see mothers with children, they want to help you.
Yes.
And so it's not necessarily you subject your child's life to danger of ritual killings, of rape, of all sorts. These days, it's not even only to girls. They rape male children also.
Of course. It's both the male and the female children now.
So it's not about gender. It's about, honestly, when I just tuned into your station, when I heard it, I was like, this is what society should be listening to.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. And I hope mothers will.
The good work.
Thank you very much. And we should be talking to to mothers. If we go home to our villages, let's also talk to these mothers. This is not how it is in the town. Let's explain to them. I think one-on-one too, we should be talking to them too, my sister.
Of course, of course. Even in churches.
Even in churches, everywhere we find ourselves.
Because most times they come to church, they put on these holier than thou faces and collect your children, and off they go to do your children evil, to do them harm. So even in churches too, I think we should also talk to women in church.
Okay.
When they're having women meeting, talk to them, because sometimes right in church they perpetrate these evil acts.
Yes, of course. Of course. All right.
Anyway, God will help us.
Thank you very much for your contribution. It's very helpful.
I hope a lot of daddies are listening. Please, enough of this raping of children. Please. It's becoming something else. Ordinary Medisa will say the NEPA should not take light on duty. NEPA should be taking light on duty when they want
for
to.
For those ones, a permanent light off is what should happen to those kind of men. Yes. Permanent light off. With serious waist pain.
The transformer should explode.
Thank you, my sister.
All right, God bless you.
Bless you too.
Bye.
All right. So that it is. That's it. I'm putting the responsibility on the doorstep of the mothers, the parents. Like we said, poverty is no longer an excuse. You can't tell me because I don't have money to send my children to school, I send them to the cities to go and work. You're right there. You don't even know where your child is sleeping, and you're comfortable. You give birth to children and then you distribute them to families. You don't even visit the children. You don't even care about what is happening to them. Enough is enough. And for you, that woman and that man out there, doing these wicked things to children because they're not yours, it will catch up with you. What you sow, you reap. I think this is the time for you to stop it. If you cannot send a child to school and love on that child and treat that child like your own child, you don't have any business picking up the child. Because it's an act of serious wickedness. Of course, we know the wickedness has increased upon the earth. Humans have turned against children. But who are these humans? What is your role? Are you the one making it happen, or you're the one trying to solve the problem? You cannot protect your own children and destroy other people's children. It wouldn't work like that. You may think you're succeeding, but you won't go too far. And for those agents who think the only way they can make money now is to trade with people's children's life. I don't know if you have children yourself, but you were also once a child. I think you should turn back from your evil ways. You need to. You need to. I think you should pick another business. You should help humanity and not to destroy it. That's not a good business. An agent was telling me that, look, it's better, as you keep moving the children from one home to the other, your commission gets, better and better. Commission on someone else's child? Is this how we are going to build the world and the society that we are talking about? You think you can sleep with your eyes closed, two eyes closed, when your own children are protected and other people's children are exposed in the wild? Then where is the safety for you and those children of yours? There won't be no such thing as safety for you. And I also hold the parents responsible. If you don't give your child out, nobody will do these harms to your children, to your child. Please give birth to the number of children that you can take care of. And unfortunately, and it's even funny too, those who have monies are the ones having 1, 2, 3 children. Those who don't have monies to take care of their children are the ones giving birth to 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. When you're not sure of where you can give them food from, because you believe you can send them to the streets to go and beg, or you send them to people's homes to survive and to also ensure that you also survive, then what kind of parent are you? People should give birth to the number of children they can take care of. And of course, if you've already had children that you cannot take care of, it's still good. It depends on what you want to do with your life and the life of your children. You don't need to subject your children to anything like that. No matter your economic status, you can be a better parent than sending your children out in the wild. To those eagles out there who are ready to destroy other people's children. House helps in Nigeria are usually employed by upper and middle class families who have disposable income to spare, especially working women who rely on these children to ease their domestic load while they focus on paid jobs. Okay? It's not good. It's not fair. It's not fair. And as a nation too, what are we doing? In this country, we have been talking about these issues of child abuse, child labor. It's happening everywhere around us. We are not taking STEM positions. We're not taking the right measures to end them because our children are not the ones being used. Our children are in schools in one country or the other country. And so it's not our business anywhere or anyhow, whatever happens to anybody else's child. It's not your business. But it should be your business. If we have a law that criminalizes the employment of children, especially under 18 years, in domestic labor, what are we doing to ensure that we implement these laws? Are these laws just existing on the pages of papers? I'm sure National Human Rights Commission frequently receive reports of these house helps being abused. Where's NAPTIP? Where's the police? Where are all the agencies? Nigeria, as a signatory to the Child Rights Act, cannot continue to turn blind eye to this unwholesome development. On the contrary, government must be seen to protect the interests of its most vulnerable citizens, these children of the poor. And this should be the benefit of the new law. The Child Rights Act. We cannot continue to turn our eyes away from it when our children are being molested every day by their own people. The rights of children, especially vulnerable children, must be protected by all. I mean all of us, if we hope to make the transition of our country into a civilized and advanced nation. My name is Oikeke Igado Kure. Thank you for listening.
And underestimated because of who you are or what you believe in or where you come from.
To the girls of Nigeria and across Africa and all over the world, I want to say, don't let anyone tell you that you are weaker than or less than anything. You are not less than a boy. You are not less than a child.
Everywhere we look today, you can see the advancement of man. How the human mind has basically invented, created, and built a whole new world. Yet strangely, every time that I have been on the field, I've wondered how that same human mind continues to allow the exploitation of children across the world, where girls are being denied to go to school, where children are living without clean water, medical care, protection, even food.
When I learned some years ago that writers were expected to have had really unhappy childhoods to be successful, I began to think about how I could invent horrible things my parents had done to me. But the truth is that I had a very happy childhood, full of laughter and love in a very close-knit family.
I was